Oh my goodness, welcome. Welcome aboard if you're brand new. Welcome back if you're not. Welcome back if you're not. This is a big deal. And welcome home if that sits perfectly for you. This week we are going to talk about what's up August 19th through the 25th, 2024. If you are a regular around here, you know I've been gone. I wish I could say I hadn't had to purchase a new laptop for that to happen, but it did. And so here's how I'm approaching that. I am blessed enough to have been able to purchase a new laptop to be here. How about that? Yeah. All right, let's get right in because it's been a while. And Monday, the 19th of August, is a huge day. So let's get right there. On Monday, the 19th of August, Venus, which is in Virgo, squares Jupiter just after the day turns. Not long after that, the Aquarius moon will trine Mars. And then Venus opposes Saturn. Pay attention. The moon in Aquarius will sextile Chiron and oppose Mercury in retrograde. The sun in Leo will square Uranus. The moon in Aquarius will square Uranus. The moon opposes the sun. Full moon. And Jupiter squares Saturn. Before, around dinner time, the moon moves into Pisces. Here's the deal. We have a full moon, 27 degrees of Aquarius, right? This is a big, giant deal. It happens while there are two other T-squares. So Venus opposing Saturn squares Mars and Jupiter, okay? And then the other one is the sun conjunct Mercury opposing the moon, that's our full moon, squaring Uranus. Also happening in the sky at the time, Neptune will be sextiling Pluto. Now, this is a day where self-expression and how you feel about the ways you are self-expressing, okay, might undergo some kind of a huge shift. So pay attention. It might also be in a very unexpected way that this comes in. So your personal routines or the lack thereof will absolutely be on your mind, right? They'll be a source of cogitation. They will be what you're paying attention to. The ways your actions are either aligned or not is absolutely up for grabs. So use the energy of this full moon to witness what is required of you. Pay attention. There we go. Pay attention. Oh, see, that's funny. Pay attention to your heart, your relationships, love, and money, okay? So those kinds of things may be out of sync, and those things are going to be very clear to you today. It will be unmistakable, the places where you are not in alignment. Look at that, 2 9s to start the week. So instead of using those places and those awarenesses of where you're out of alignment in order to flagellate yourself, right, and get down on yourself and be self-deprecating and any way self-blaming, right? The key is use those places to blueprint and scaffold the things that you want to change. In that way, what you're going to be doing is creating your future in the present, right? It's full moon energy. And remember, full moon is always going to show you everything. Nothing will be hidden in the light of this full moon, Aquarius full moon. Beautiful, right? It's how you create yourself so that you can put that energy into the world. It's how you are a part of the collective. So pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. You're going to want to really focus on your actions and your habits and what they create in your life so that you can create bigger things for the rest of the world. On Tuesday the 20th, the Pisces moon will conjunct Saturn and square Jupiter. So all those, hello, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We knew it was you all along. All of those things that you tell yourself on Monday that you need to do, right? But maybe have, again, been on the back burner, right? All those things that you want to do, but are avoiding, right? Pay attention to the places that you're avoiding. Today you might really want to evaluate them in light of the reality that has been created. Now, don't get too hung up on the past or the pattern. Pay more attention to the why. Remember that all of those things that you're avoiding, they're absolutely going to keep growing. You know this. They have been growing. It's not like you avoid a thing and it just goes away. No, no, no. You avoid a thing and it gets bigger. It amplifies, right, in that darkness. Not only because it's sitting there, but it's also sitting there in your consciousness. And it grows and it grows and it grows. So make sure that you're paying attention, because this now, this energy, this week, this now energy is absolutely the exact right week to begin to choose differently, right? Choose differently. On Wednesday, the 21st, that Pisces moon opposes Venus, squares Mars, quincunxes Mercury, sextiles Uranus. The sun in Leo will quincunx Neptune. The moon conjuncts Neptune, right? We like that. And then the moon will quincunx the Leo sun, and then the moon moves into Aries. That Aries moon will sextile Pluto around dinner time. So find your planning time in the morning, right? Sit down, and all of those awarenesses that you've had in the last day or two around the habits and patterns of your life, right? Those places where you feel like you're out of alignment. And again, this is just where you feel you're out of alignment. It's nothing that anybody else has to have input about. These are things you already know in your heart. So pay attention. Those things need to become plans, right? If I identify X as a thing that I'm not in alignment with, then I'm going to create on Wednesday morning a plan around X. What is it that I want instead of this? I've been allowing this thing. But this is not what I want. I want that. So how do I get from here to there? That plan, right? I'm going to create myself right now as if I'm Y, right? Instead of X or Z or Q. It doesn't really matter. But make sure that it is aligned with that sense of home that we always talk about, right? So what home smells like, looks like, tastes like, sounds like. And again, as always, that is for you. This is your life. And here's the deal. Get it down, right? What you want, what you desire. Put yourself into the story. Make yourself the center and star. And by evening, you can be in the work of self-creation. I don't want to say self-recreation. I mean self-creation. The key here is write it down. Write it down, write it down, write it down. Right? We talk about how, oh, I don't need to write it down. I'll remember it. No, you won't. Write it down. On Thursday, the 22nd, in the morning, 9:55 a.m. Central Time, the sun moves into Virgo. Alrighty then. Not long after, that sun is going to quincunx Pluto, right? Pluto is a busy boy this week. And then Venus in Virgo will square Mars, and the moon in Aries will sextile Jupiter. So welcome on Thursday to Virgo season. The energy is absolutely going to allow for deep awarenesses of all of those things that have kept you from embodying your highest and best, right? So we've been paying attention to these patterns, these habits, these routines. Now we're really going to line them up with our actual highest and best. So pay attention to those places between what you do and what you want and who you are, right? And who you want to be. So the energy of transformation, remember we talked about Pluto, it is so there. It's so all-encompassing in this energy this week. So take advantage of that energy. It is so powerful, and it is imbuing you with this sense of powerfulness, right? In order to not just create your story, but to create whatever it is that you're looking for. On Friday the 23rd, that Aries moon is going to sextile Mars, quincunx Venus, Mercury in retrograde will trine Chiron, the moon will trine Mercury conjunct Chiron, Venus will sextile Chiron. Busy, 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 right? The moon will move into Taurus in the evening time. That Taurus moon will square Pluto, trine the sun, and then just before the day turns, Mercury in retrograde will sextile Mars. Here's the deal. This is the process. This is the point where function begins in those new improved narrative patterns, right? So it might be a good plan to keep your plans to yourself for now, right? Communication is kind of challenged. It is Mercury retrograde. And as you heard, Chiron pops up everywhere. So those old wounds can definitely be reactivated. So if you're using clumsy words, if you're expressing in a way that's not really mindful, and I'm going to add here intentionally or unintentionally, right? It may be through no fault of yours. It might not have anything to do with your communication. It really might have to do with the way that it's heard, but that's kind of irrelevant, right? So if you're looking if you're looking to communicate what you've been going through all week and you want to talk about it, it might be, I'm going to use the word safest. It might be the most prudent. It might be the healthiest option. Let's use that. It might be the healthiest option just to allow your actions to speak for you instead of feeling the need to explain your course of action to anyone at this time, right? On Saturday, the 24th, Mars in Gemini sextiles Chiron, like Marsha, and the moon in Taurus will sextile Saturn. So here's the deal. Keep the promises that you made to yourself, especially on Saturday. Dig in and resist the urges to veer off of your new paths. You've spent an entire week of energy creating the what I want, right? Remind yourself of why and immortalize that in some way. And what I mean by that is write it down, right? Whatever your why is, if you can create something, just a little visual representation or an affinity to a sound, or attach it to a number, and every time you see the number on the clock, you'll be reminded of this why. So preload this why into your experience and allow your own experience to keep building the reward of your self-commitment, right? So make sure that you can return to that why. But today, Saturday, the 24th, just put dedication and devotion into your first choice, right? Choose you, choose you, choose you again and again, and let this be the first day in the patterning of your new habits. On Sunday, the 25th, that Taurus moon is going to square Mercury, trine Venus, and conjunct Uranus, sextile Neptune. And then in the evening, very later in the day, the moon will move into Gemini. The Gemini moon will square Pluto before the day is over. So here's the deal. Sunday, mind your mouth. Even a very well-intentioned statement can come back and absolutely create havoc. Right? Isn't that exciting? As a misunderstanding. So here's the deal. Speak instead to your own shifts, your own changes. Claim the truths of what it is that you have chosen, to yourself, as yourself, right? A thing that I like to tell my clients is record it in your own voice so that you can go back and listen to it at any point in time. Sometimes that's helpful. Remember, your consciousness is going to respond the most strongly to your own voice, right? So put your voice in a place where it can be heard by you, in that way that you're immortalizing your why, right? Make sure that, thank you, that's it. Oh, there we go. Make sure that you can access it, because that's important. That's important. You want to be sure that you hold the keys to your consciousness. All right, shall we? On Monday, we have the Nine of Wands and the Queen of Wands. So the Nine of Wands is really about that place where you are knowing what it is that you're defending, right? Nine of Wands is a little bit tiring sometimes. This is that place where we grow a little bit weary, like remembering that the next step is the Ten of Wands, and the Ten of Wands is where you're required to put something down. So if we have the Queen of Wands and the Nine of Wands, what's happening is that you're actually being asked to pay attention to the places that you're already growing weary. What is out of alignment, right? What are you holding on to that might be starting to drag your embodiment down? This is the day of that full moon. We're talking about self-expression. We're talking about the things that are in alignment or not, right? Creating that that source of what is it in your relationships that is wearing on you? What is it in your finances that is wearing on you? What is it that's keeping you out of this giant alignment? You have to identify each and every one of these wands that you're defending. You have to make sure that these are things that are truly setting you aflame. And if not, they have to go, right? If they're keeping you from living your best life in any way, why are you holding on to them? Why are you defending them? Now is the time, this full moon in Aquarius. I can't be my best self in the world if I'm not first my best self for myself, right? Let me say that again. I can't be my best self for the world if I'm not first my best self for myself, right? So what is getting in your way of this? That's the question of this full moon. And there will be, I mean, there's consequences, of course, of holding on to that. But why would you want to incur them, right? Why would you want to incur them? On Tuesday, we have the Nine of Swords and the Page of Cups. So we're talking about anxiety, the things that totally bring you down, and then how you feel your heart, right? So again, all of those things that you've been telling yourself you need to do but have been avoiding. All of those things that you want to do, but you choose something else instead. Talk about the life that you're creating, the reality that you're creating. If your reality is more mired in this kind of energy, that is anxiety, that is stress, that is I'm awake in the middle of the night because, and again, is it preventing you from this joyful, happy, like Page of Cups is energy that's super blessed. Your heart is happy, you're content, you're satisfied, right? You're up in it, right? You're spreading joy and bliss. Or you're living on your knees in not a good way, right? So what is keeping you here? What ideas are in your way? What choices are in your way, right? What are you amplifying? Pay attention. Pay attention. And again, this is the perfect week to start to choose differently. Give each one of these anxieties, right? Ideas. Give them a name. Give them a name and have a conversation with them. Hey, Jim, you, Crow, here, you, why are you here, right? What, I would like to move into this space. Why do you keep pecking at my door, right? Why are you making noise in my trees? Ask them, find out, have conversations with your consciousness. And don't be surprised when your unconscious rolls in with the answer. And then here's the most important part. Pay attention, because Jim, the crow, Jim, that's been pecking at your door and keeping you awake, he's got something in his beak for you, right? He's got a gift. Figure out what that gift is. And then you don't have to worry, because Jim's song will become beautiful to you, right? That's how we friend our demons. Did you see the air quotes? That's how you do it, y'all. That's how you do it. On Wednesday, we've got the Emperor and the Seven of Cups. Okay, so we have super boss energy and lots and lots and lots of options, right? So this is that day where we're really going to plan. We are going to plan. See, we're talking about strategies and options, strategies and options. So we're really going to write all these things down. We are going to look at all of the things, right? We've got these 2 9s here with these amazing energies topping them, saying, okay, we know that it's hard. We get it. But look what's available to you. Look what's possible if you simply take control of what's happening, right? The Emperor says, you have plenty of strategies here, y'all. You can do this. You can rewrite. So get those plans going, right? The Emperor lives a very contented, lush life. Why? Well, because he does what he wants to do. And that doesn't mean that he doesn't have hoops to jump through. Guess what? Everybody does. But the Emperor is absolutely aligned with his sense of home, with his power as a creator. And remember, we're talking about self-creation here. We're talking about how you create yourself, and every option is available to you. So why would you choose anything else, right? Why are you stuck in these old patterns? Why are you stuck defending things that aren't productive? Why are you stuck holding on to these ideas that aren't contented, that aren't satisfying? You are the chooser. You're the choosers, you know? So choose, right? On Thursday, we've got the Seven of Pentacles, beautiful, and the Star. So welcome Virgo season. I love that, right? So we're talking about building routines, patiently building routines. Now here's the thing, we have this star coming in, right? So we're talking about the way that the energy is allowing you to create deeply from complete deep awareness, right? We're pulling from the waters of the cosmos itself. And the way that we're looking at transforming this Virgo season is to begin to plant deeply, create a routine, understand that it's about consistency, what you do every day. Virgo season understands that miracles happen in the moment, right? Miracles happen in the moment. And the cosmos will back you if you show up. Let's be fair, the cosmos backs you all the time, but you get the results from the cosmos if you keep showing up. So make sure that all of these things you're creating, this plan of attack, this plan of victory that you're calling in, right? Based on all of these awarenesses you have early in the week, what we're doing is planting. Not only do you have these roots and the patience and the devotion and the dedication to make them work, right? Virgo is all about devotion and dedication to routine. Isn't that beautiful too, right? And Virgo knows as an earth sign that the resources are always there, even if we're waiting for them to show themselves. They're still there, even if they're latent, right? And guess what? You have nothing but water. Nothing but water for these growing plants. So, boy, plant those roots deep and let them grow. Devote yourself to the process, to the why, right? We've already done that, to the why. So, who doesn't love that? Look, we have the Three of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles. So we're already celebrating our legacy. We're already celebrating our legacy. This is that process that begins in our new improved patterns. Again, what are we building? The future. What are we building? Our legacy. Where are we building it? By celebrating it right now, right? By celebrating it right now. Again, this is that day where, you know, this is that celebration, camaraderie, group joy here. But again, this is a day where we talked about perhaps keeping your long-term plans to yourself. It might not be the day to share them. It's enough for your actions to speak for themselves, right? Just be in the moment. You don't have to talk about what's coming. You don't have to really share about what's been going on with you. This is not the time for that. Now is the time to plant your roots. This is your actions, right? If you find yourself in that group setting, just be with your people. It's great. Just be with your people. You don't need approval. You don't need validation. You don't need confirmation outside of yourself, right? This is your legacy. You're growing it. On Saturday, we have the Lovers and the King of Swords. What a beautiful pair of cards. This is about keeping the promises that you made to yourself, right? This is the day that we're talking about digging in, right? This is the day that we're talking about your why. Now, here's the thing. The Lovers doesn't always call in love, right? In terms of romantic love. This isn't always about someone else. This can be a relationship with yourself. And today, what these two cards are talking about is to fall in love with your own truth, right? To fall in love with your own devotion to truth and keep the promises that you made to yourself. What am I choosing to do? I'm rewriting my whole story, my narrative, my sense of ideas, my beliefs. I'm falling in love with being a believer in myself, right? And we talked about this is the day to immortalize your why. This is the biggest why you're ever going to have. Why you're doing what you do. Why you're building what you're building. Why you're becoming what you're becoming. Why you're showing up as what you're showing up as. And then you're going to use this sword of truth, and inscribe it somewhere, in some way, whatever that means to you. Take the time. Take the time to do this on Saturday. Create something to immortalize your own why, to remind yourself on the days when you forget that you can come back to it and reignite your sense of self-love, self-devotion, self-dedication, your commitment to your own process, right? As the writer of your story. You've got this, right? You've got it. It's beautiful. And then on Sunday, we have another king, right? The King of Wands and the Chariot. How lovely. How absolutely lovely. So this is a day that we talked about minding your mouth, right? Even those well-intentioned statements can throw you off balance. So instead, speak to yourself. Speak to your own intentions, right? Keep your avenues to yourself. This doesn't have to be, again, we're not seeking outside. So this King of Wands, he doesn't need anybody to remind him why he's the boss. He knows he's the boss, dude. He's the keeper of the flame, just like you are. The Chariot reminds you to balance what you're doing, right? We're going. We're not veering. No, we're going straight. We're going forward because we understand what it is, why we're inspired, what the juice is, why we're lit up, why we're going in the direction we're going. We've got our why. And if we have our why, we're never going to be pulled off course by something else, right? It doesn't matter what's out there. We know we're ready for it because we're following our why. We're following our highest and best. We are purposed. We are purposed. And once we gather that concept of our why, then any kind of following becomes simple. It becomes easy, right? It becomes second nature, which is exactly what we're looking for. The great balancing, In the grand scheme of things, this is a card that talks about karma, right? Karma is, in Eileen Land, we talk about karma as the great balancing, as opposed to some sense of divine punishment, right? The whole concept of if you don't eat your meat, you can't have your pudding, right? We're not looking at the punishment of the universe visited upon someone who's displeased us, right? That whole concept of, oh, karma has big teeth. No. Here's the thing. Karma is a balancing. What you're witnessing is someone learning a lesson. Every time we get to a place where we think about karma in a situation, that's a sense of learning. It's education. What it is allowing for the experience, right? And so this week, what's happening is we're witnessing our own experience, and we're trying, right, to utilize the energies available. Because here's the deal. We know that the stars don't compel us, right? They impel us. They bring us forward. They invite us to step into our own process. And isn't that beautiful, right? Isn't that a beautiful thing? They ask us to dance with the universe in a new way, right? In a more elevated way. Perhaps they ask us to join the dance in a different sort of vibration. And it's a glorious thing. And so how are we balancing ourselves? How are we stepping into our karma? How are we saying yes to the lessons that we're being offered, right? That's how we clear our karma. We say, oh yeah, I see that. Let me work on that. Oh yeah, I get that. Let's figure that out. Oh, let me dive in there. Oh yeah, that's an experience I need, right? Oh, I see where I've been out of line here. Let me do it in a different way. It's not about dragging the past forward. It's about witnessing the now this is what I want to be immediately right here. This is how I want to show up, right? That's what karma does. It frees us to be the very best person that we can be in the moment if we're learning. That's how we balance, right? That's how we balance. And I don't think I've ever seen this card. I love this deck so much, and I don't know that I've ever seen it. Skywriting, the fates. Let's see what it has to say, shall we? Skywriting, the fates, that which we cannot change, non-judgment. Okay. It is being written in the sky that you have a destiny. Okay. You are being invited to explore certain aspects of life unique to you and you alone. That does not mean your path will be easy, paved with gold and littered with diamonds. Nor does this predict that your journey will be treacherous. It is just your path, with parts that cannot be changed and must be radically accepted as they are. In this way, whatever you are faced with, every single aspect of your life is perfect in its imperfection. Not good or bad, neither inflow nor blocked, this or that. See your life as a series of opportunities rather than an obstacle course. Once you master the skill of non-judgment, you open to the power of curiosity, unencumbered by the burdens of yesterday's fear. As you look ahead into the potential of the future, you still need to be brave. Right now, you are facing a critical moment in time. Absolutely. With an opportunity to meet your fate, a choice point where you expand your influence and your capacity for abundance, love, and purposeful action. I love that. Now is the moment to leap into it, whether it be a heart connection, a call to creativity, or a new identity in your work or another area of your life with all your soul. Your success is surely written in the stars. In order to bring your destiny to fruition, you must jump into the adventure with both feet and do your part. Listen, we just talked about that. We are at a choice point. We're at a huge choice point. In fact, this full moon in Aquarius is enormous. And on this Aquarius-Leo axis, it is all about self-creation. Self-creation. So that we may be that thing which is required so that we may be in alignment with our purpose in the world, right? Self-creation is about the way that we claim ourselves so that we can be the strongest link in the chain that we can be in this moment, right? And who are we serving? Everyone, right? We serve everyone by becoming our best self. So this week is all about creating that solid nature of yourself, right? And really getting in with your personal why and just stepping on the path. Step on the path, write your own story, right? Remember that. Remember what you're doing. You've got this, guys. I'm super glad to be back. I missed you. I hope you've all been well. And hit like, hit subscribe. Come on back and see me. Happy full moon. Be blessed.